This week on Discover Oklahoma, we are hitting the trail to Dino's old stomping grounds in southeastern Oklahoma. We'll go loco with Beavers Bend adventures, from the lodging to the links. Then we're tripled up on food, from pizza to steaks. And we have a big goodbye to say. Come with us to Discover Oklahoma one last time.
Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Dino Lalli. We are hitting the trail this week in many more ways than one. But first, let's head down the trail to the part of the state where I was born, the gorgeous wooded hills of southeastern Oklahoma. We're headed for one of Oklahoma's most popular state parks that is particularly pretty this time of the year. Chris Cook, reporter Deanne Stein, and I check out Beavers Bend on beautiful Broken Bow Lake. Beavers Bend Lodge, resting on the peaceful shore of sublime Broken Bow Lake in McCurtain County, has an attribute that pleases most everyone. All 40 rooms in the lodge have a patio or deck with the lake view, but now they also have smart TVs and in-room Wi-Fi, new beds, and an updated look. And there are newly designed communal outdoor spaces where you can enjoy all that this Verdant State Park has to offer.
They come here for the view. They want to sit out here in the evening time and just watch the deer. They want to watch the eagles. Every now and then you'll see an eagle fly across there. And they just come to rest and relax, and some come to have fun. There's always things to do around here. So
Beavers Bend has also added 12 new tiny cabins that sleep 4 or 6 people, depending on whether they're ADA accessible. They all have kitchenettes and a gorgeous view of the Mountain Fork River. Those are in addition to the other 48 rustic cabins in the park.
A lot of our guests have been coming for 30, 40 years, and they love their rustic, historic cabins because they have a lot of nostalgia, but these are something for somebody that wants a little bit more modern. They're right on the river, so great view, all the amenities, so it's a win-win.
There's also a brand new gift shop run by the owners of a popular boutique in nearby Hochatime called Hochatime Hideaway.
This is such a great opportunity to be in the park that we love and that we care so much about. We've got little small items, magnets and keychains and things like that, grab and go, snacks for the campers, camping supplies for people who are staying in the park, that sort of thing. We do sell a lot of t-shirts here too. T-shirts, a lot more children coming in here with families, family groups, so kids items, just a lot of different things, yeah.
And don't forget Cedar Creek Golf Course with its challenging yet scenic holes. Brothers Tom and Kurt Cottrell, both Texas doctors, love it here.
It's a great, beautiful place. It's like a hidden gem, really. I mean, it's just, you find this down here and you're thinking, because we live in Texas where there's 1 million golf courses. You know, but this is just really a pretty little golf course. It's great.
Tight fairways, lots of trees.
Pro golfer Molly Wallace of nearby Broken Bow literally grew up on this course.
I'd come out here with my parents, and so on hole 7 here, I took my first step.
But Molly has played all over and says you'll be hard-pressed to find a tougher or more beautiful course.
You come out here, and you're right by the lake, and so that alone, you don't see too much. Like about 7 o'clock, all the deer come out, and just on the driving range in the evening is just beautiful.
Some of our shots have scared a few deer, but we apologize for that. But
I like it better than a lot of the fancier courses.
Well, it's not crowded. You're not surrounded by a bunch of guys that are one-handicappers that are jumping up and down because you're playing too slow, and you can just really enjoy it. It's just extremely enjoyable golf.
Hey guys, welcome to the beautiful Beavers Bend State Park.
A train ride at Beavers Bend Depot is unlike any you've taken before. Trust me.
Ooh, we got this bad boy geared now, Galen. We're gonna go about 3 miles an hour.
With Loco Joe behind the wheel of this replica CP Huntington train, you're in for a delightful time, as I soon found out.
She just turned 21 years old today, guys. Y'all give Miss Deanna a big happy birthday.
No, it's not my birthday, but hey, 21, I'll take it.
Me and my wife, we've been married, like I said, 40 years. On our anniversary, my best friend asked me, he said, after 40 years, do you still buy her flowers? I told him, man, after 40 years, I never knew she sold them.
This lovable engineer with a long list of dad jokes is the depot's best asset, according to owners Gayla and Randy Hardaway.
I didn't tell you about my wife put me on a diet, did I? Yeah, she put me on one 2 weeks ago, Deanne. So far, I know the thing I've lost is 14 days of happiness.
One guy came from Canada and told Loco Joe he had heard about him in Canada, so he detoured on the vacation he was taking to come by here just to ride the train with Loco Joe.
The winding track takes you on a 2-mile adventure through the woods, where you'll see plenty of deer and other wildlife.
We're still looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
We do watch for him every ride. So far, we haven't sighted him yet, but he's out there somewhere, they say.
Right there, don't pull unless you need to stop, okay?
You can also keep an eye out for Bigfoot from the back of a horse as you ride through Beavers Bend State Park. And after your train ride or trail adventure, you won't go away hungry, thirsty, or empty-handed. Gayla and Randy have put in a concession stand/gift shop where you can fuel up and find a souvenir of your adventure in one of Oklahoma's most visited destinations.
We love the park. It's beautiful, and we have enjoyed adding to this establishment and building it up and making it what it is today. We put our heart and soul into it, that's for sure. We have so many repeat customers like that. So many people that used to come to this area years ago, and now they're bringing their families back.
For a return trip or brand new adventure, Beavers Bend has it all. In Broken Bow, I'm Deanne Stein for Discover Oklahoma.
You can track down the deets on everything there is to do at Beavers Bend State Park at travelok.com/BeaversBend. Coming up next, from Broken Bow to Broken Arrow, we're going to take you to a larger-than-life brewery that is a slam dunkle. And clearly, when it comes to puns, I am ailing. Please send help. But seriously, this place is stout. Also ahead, 2 steakhouses so good that we couldn't decide which one to make our final Discover Oklahoma visit to. We will be right back.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see?
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma. Let's talk about where we are this week. And I'm sorry they have not invented smell-o-vision yet. The aromas emanating from the kitchen here in the Saucee Sicilian in northwest Oklahoma City are mouthwatering. So after nearly 15 years with the show, this is my final episode of Discover Oklahoma, and we thought it would be fitting if we wrap things up at a place that serves delicious pizza, given my genetic affinity for it. And while vino may be the Italian drink of choice to pair with pie, here in America, it's beer. So we're headed to the Broken Arrow Brewery with Jason Grubbs.
Austin Ferguson loves beer and has a passion for brewing his own. So when he opened Broken Arrow Brewing Company in 2018, he'll be the first to tell you that he is living the dream.
I've always loved making stuff with my hands, and it's just doing something like handcrafted, it's always better.
His beer is brewed on site using a collection of his own tried and true recipes that he's perfected over the past 15 years.
I just love the chemistry and the science behind beer, where you start with this like raw material, and then you get to transform it into something that people enjoy.
Like the Kolsch, his flagship beer.
We brew that basically like they do in Cologne, Germany.
His core beers are always on the menu and include a mix of traditional IPAs and ales.
I like more on the lighter side. My husband's more of a darker beer, so, and you can get the flight so it fits everybody's taste, whatever they like.
And that's what people come here to expect. They want, if they're gonna come drink a Hefeweizen, they want it to taste like an original Hefeweizen.
All served up inside this historic building in Broken Arrow's popular Rose District. Built in 1906, the building was once the town's first power plant, and then later an ice house.
What I like most is that they were able to use an old historic building, and it's a beautiful building.
Joe Mace has been coming here for a cold one since they opened.
This is a day drinker. They have an excellent IPA that I really love. They've got a Kolsch that's just out of this world, and but you can't go wrong with any of their beers.
It's quaint. We love the outdoor space. They have trivia night. We like the music. In the winter, you can still be outside because they have the little pit, you know. Yeah, so it's just very quaint and nice.
And if you're hungry, you're in luck, because the brewery has a permanent food truck on site.
Oh, it's awesome when it's like a Saturday. I come up here and I see like just parents sitting with their kids, enjoying a beer. They're playing a game, doing some chalk. You know, it's so much fun. But it's about the family. It's just about the community.
At Broken Arrow Brewery, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.
You can soak up all the suds on the Broken Arrow Brewery at travelok.com/BA Brewery. The Saucee Sicilian here in Oklahoma City has been featured on the television series Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and they're listed in the book Where to Eat Pizza, the expert's guide to the best pizza places in the world. Now don't worry, we'll dish up all the details on how to savor those Neapolitan flavors at travelok.com/Saucee, and remember that's SAUCEE, Sicilian. Up next, a twofer, two incredible restaurants where the steaks are worth the drive. That's coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
Make a date with the great outdoors with the Oklahoma State Parks app. Explore trails, discover events, get deals, book lodging, campsites, and more. Download the Oklahoma State Parks app. Experience a state of wonder.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma, and I think just in time because here is my favorite pizza. Thank you, Angie. Here at Saucee Sicilian in Northwest Oklahoma City, wood fire crust. This is what my wife and I order every single time. This little pizza here is packed full of flavor. While everybody, just about everybody, loves pizza, one thing we've learned in 30 years of doing this show, you always want to know, where can I get a great steak? So we are headed north on I-35 to a pair of restaurants that Jennifer Reynolds tells us you will want to put on your prime go-to list.
To find one of Ponca City's best kept secrets, just follow the crowd down the alley to the big orange door.
Welcome to the Rusty Barrel. Come in.
Thanks for having us. Just like that, you're in the Rusty Barrel Supper Club.
It was a private club originally, and that's why you have to press a doorbell to get in.
Owners Rick and Kim Hancock kept that speakeasy vibe for their steakhouse, which has been in the family almost 50 years.
That's the original tank that was put in here in 1974.
And still used today, grilling up steaks with their signature marinade.
We serve probably 500 to 600 fillets a week. And our beef is aged a minimum of 28 days for maximum tenderness and taste. Never been frozen.
They also work their magic on pork chops, chicken, swordfish, and salmon. That all comes with a baked potato, bread, and a trip to the salad bar. And there are specialty sides.
Our mushrooms, we prepare those in-house with, we brown some butter and put the mushrooms in with a little garlic and thyme and finish it off with a little soy sauce, believe it or not.
I love the filet, I love their baked potato and salad bar, but I really love their after-dinner drink.
Called the tumbleweed, it's really a dessert.
That is adult milkshake. That is ice cream, Kahlua, and cream de cocoa with a sprinkle of a little nutmeg on top.
They've expanded their wine list, but the Rusty Barrel is best known for its 185 different bourbons and whiskeys. Still, it's the food that has made original club member Carl Renfro a fixture here.
I come here at least once a week. That's how much I like it. Every time I come here, it's always the same. Quality food, a salad bar that's probably the best in the state of Oklahoma, and steaks that are wonderful.
Just 15 minutes west of the Rusty Barrel in the town of Tonkawa, you can sample the kind of chef-driven meal generally found in high-end urban settings.
We don't call it fine dining, we call it fresh dining.
Chef Jeff Denton picks only the best ingredients for his 5 to 7 course dinners.
Everything we make is fresh, and everything recipe we use is original.
Chef Jeff and his team spend hours in the kitchen getting ready for each evening's event.
If I had my way, I would just stay in the kitchen. I like the culinary part of creating. So it's typically either prime rib or a beef tenderloin, but we do different things with tenderloin like steak Diane or beef Wellington or different things, so it has a wide variety.
Then he moves on to the sides and the famous deviled egg appetizers. Chef Jeff wants each course to complement the next.
And then we have a baker who does our bread and our desserts, and her name is Miss Pat.
And the food is served family style for a reason.
I wanted to bring the family back to the dinner table, because surprisingly not, when I walk around the dining room, I don't see a lot of phones out. And a lot of people are sitting there and they're actually talking to each other.
5-star quality white tablecloth restaurant in Tonkawa, Oklahoma for a price that's a lot less than the big cities. So,
one-word reviews tell the tale.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Flavorful.
Awesome.
Very good. 2 words.
That's 2 words.
Yes.
Okay.
TS Fork is open Fridays and Saturdays only, and reservations are a must.
To have something that's farm to fork and so fresh, sourced from local people, local farmers, local meat sources, is very exciting, and I am thrilled to have them here.
We think you'll be thrilled with a stop at either TS Fork in Tonkawa or the Rusty Barrel Supper Club in Ponca City. I'm Jennifer Reynolds for Discover Oklahoma.
Wow, that's a tough choice between those two, so the best plan is to visit both, and we'll serve up the details at travelok.com/forkandbarrel. And in between visits, make the short drive to Stillwater for a stay at the Best Western Plus Cimarron Hotel and Suites. And when we come back, I have a tough goodbye to tell you, and we hope you'll stay with us.
Timmy, really? Again?
Blue sky smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma. I am joined by my very dear friend, former co-host, executive producer, Jennifer Reynolds.
It's good to be here, Dino. I'm glad to be out here riding with you again. I wish it were for a happier reason.
And yes, actually it's come down to this. I need to tell everyone at home goodbye. This is my last show for Discover Oklahoma. I had been thinking about leaving for about a year, but life sometimes does this. Some pieces on the chessboard moved, and I moved up my timeline. Now, I'm not leaving television. I'm still going to be around, and I hope you'll stay tuned for that. But when it comes to this show, I have had a blast.
As I sat down to write my final story for Discover Oklahoma, a flood of memories came rushing back from my first time on the show to the last few months.
Military history.
Give me a second.
I'm ready. What do you think?
To Discover in Oklahoma.
For the past 14 and a half years, I've had the privilege of exploring this state with an incredible team, most recently with co-host Lauren Nelson, executive producer Jennifer Reynolds, and videographers Tommy Evans, Chris Cook, and Brian Boone. You will never meet a finer group of incredibly talented and fun broadcast journalists, as well as amazingly caring individuals. All of them made every shoot an adventure.
I really love my job. Really, really love it.
Their passion for sharing the beauty of Oklahoma inspired me daily, and I will greatly miss working with all of them. And I've lost count of the many inspiring Oklahomans along the way who work day after day to make this a wonderful place to live. Oklahomans who are passionate about their work and care about what they do.
Marty exudes a pride that lights up the room, especially when she is able to share her heritage and culture with Oklahomans, and her gratitude to the USA for giving her the opportunity to succeed.
People like you are embracing us, and I really appreciate that, because I think that's what I like to do, show Oklahoma that we are good people.
As with so many who have worked on this show, at some point our kids got to make appearances. That was certainly the case with me. My 3 kids, sons Dante and Joseph and daughter Alexa May, at various times were on the show, as well as my wife Larissa, without whom I would not be here today.
Rock and roll.
As for some of the fun I've had, and I've had a lot, I have zip-lined over beautiful Oklahoma areas. I've hiked some incredible trails, looked over breathtaking vistas, had a blast doing a golf story with Jeff Roberts at Lake Murray State Park.
In fact, you can see Jeff up there. I think he's looking for his ball right now.
He is.
And he's going to be looking for quite a while because I have it in my pocket.
Exploring state parks was always one of my favorite kinds of stories to do. From Romanos, Lake Murray, Sequoia, Great Plains, Lake Keystone, or Fort Cobb, just to name a few, I was able to ride horses, play golf, fish, take a Segway tour at Beavers Bend. It didn't really matter what I was doing specifically at a state park. I was very content just to let the peacefulness and tranquility of the magnificent parks just pull me in, except for Little Sahara State Park. To go riding over the sand dunes was a rock and roll experience. I loved it. And food, I could do a full episode on the mouth-watering cuisine prepared at locally owned restaurants around the state. Some of my favorites include Papadillo's and Vito's in Oklahoma City, Gabarino's home-style Italian in Norman, Little Venice in Sand Springs. The best steak I'd had in 20 years was at the Vintage Steakhouse in Morrison, Oklahoma. But more than anything else, I will always cherish the people of this great state. Their warmth, kindness, creativity, and community spirit is what truly makes Oklahoma special. One story that always comes to mind was one of my first ones that I did on a place called the Sandusky Market in Pryor.
Contrary to what this sign says, this gang is just getting warmed up. I mean, seriously, you know you're in for a good time when the drummer's playing a cat litter box.
And we also have another one comes in here, and he plays a tomato box.
It was fun meeting Reba at the opening of her new place in Atoka, or interviewing Toby Keith when his restaurant at Thackerville opened back in 2010.
It's got great country food, fried bologna sandwich. What more do you want, Dino?
From covering any kind of story involving art, like Gene Iron Man Smith.
I don't look at myself as a wow person. I look at myself as a struggling artist.
That struggle takes place in this one-car garage where Iron Man grinds out his art. Or feeding bison at the Old West Buffalo Company in Pawhuska. It was always an honor to do any story connected to any of the Native American tribes in our state. Making pasta was very fun. Going to a museum of any kind, making a candle, trying to make something other than a paperweight, learning the art of glass blowing, fly fishing, doing a show from a Tulsa Drillers baseball game, or simply talking with folks all over Oklahoma. Let me just wrap everything up by saying it has been an honor to have shared your stories, passions, and talents through Discover Oklahoma.
Dino, I had to be here because I wanted to say thank you to you on behalf of all of us on the Discover Oklahoma crew and the viewers out there who've been watching all these years. Thank you for your devotion, your commitment to the state of Oklahoma, and honestly, thanks for being part of our lives.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words, but also thank you, and I want to thank all the viewers at home who've allowed all of us to come into their living rooms all these years to tell some really fun, wonderful stories, not only about wonderful Oklahomans, of course, but places to eat, things to do. The honor has been ours, actually.
So along those lines, we have a very big announcement to make.
This will be the final broadcast episode for Discover Oklahoma.
The Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, which produces this show, is planning to revamp and relaunch the Discover Oklahoma brand. So this isn't goodbye, really. It's more like see you later.
So again, thank all of you at home for being such loyal viewers for over 30 years.
And we know that you'll still be out there traveling around and supporting destinations across Oklahoma because you know
there is always something to discover in Oklahoma.